This is the craziest thing to happen since Black Ops 6 release. Not only did the official KHF complete round 256 on Liberty Falls, not only did he then complete round 256 on Terminus, but then he decided to do the entire Easter egg main quest when he got there just because he could. And he was kind enough to let me show this off to you guys and explain his strategy so you can do it too. Before you even get into the game, make sure you are at least level 39 in the game, and in your loadout, equip the GS45 pistol as your starting weapon. Ideally, you want to have it leveled up all the way because it's incredibly important to the strategy. You can see that in my game, I didn't have it leveled up and it's just not that good. If yours is leveled up, then make sure to add extended mags, rapid fire, suppressor, and long barrel to it, and make it akimbo. This gun, when pack-a-punched, is basically this game's version of Mustang and Sally, so having two of them makes everything so much better, and the suppressor is actually there because it will actually make zombies drop more salvage, which is also a big key later on. This is what KHF used, and all of the other high rounders are going to be using on this map as well. Also, for field upgrades, ideally you'll want to use Ether Shroud, but Frenzy Guard can work too, and decoy grenades in your tactical slot. Lastly, put a thumbs up on this video in the like spot. Once you're on Terminus, just go through the first few rounds like you normally would and open up the map a little bit. While you're still somewhat early on, start completing the quest to get the free Beam Smasher wonder weapon. This actually helps us in two ways, because firstly, the Beam Smasher is really good for Manglers, and because the room it opens contains a secret. You can complete that quest, you don't actually need to stop halfway through or anything. Now ideally by round 25 or 30, you'll want to have your triple pack-a-punch GS45 with Napalm Burst on it as your ammo mod for Mangler damage, and the triple upgraded Beam Smasher. So go to the crafting table and buy a mutant injection from it, because if you don't know, it's basically the best thing in BO6 zombies. It will one-hit kill regular zombies forever, and for Manglers or amalgams, it'll only take a few more swipes. While you're in Mangler mode, you'll be invincible as well. This is why you needed to be level 39 so that you could buy them from the crafting table, because not enough of them will actually drop from the Manglers in order to have a constant flow of them. Once you do have it, head over to the room that we opened for the Wonder Weapon quest and head towards the back of it near the window. Primarily inside of here, you're going to be using the GS45 as much as you possibly can until there's too many zombies and you need to use the mutant injection. When that's popped, just stay inside of this room and melee as many zombies as you possibly can as the Mangler. Pretty much every single time you should be able to get through all of the entire round in one go. Even when you're up near round 110, 140, doesn't really matter unless you get super high like round 200, you should be good to go. But you may be asking yourself, where are all the Manglers right now? Well, with this room, they have some really strange tracking where they don't actually enter it very often. So when there's no more zombies, exit the room and all of the rounds Manglers will start spawning in at once. This means that when you get up into the really high rounds, there's going to be like 25 or 30 of them, so be very careful here because they are dangerous as hell. But with the GS45 and Napalm Burst, you should be able to shred them relatively easily. You do still need to be careful because a lot of them shooting their arm cannon at once can down you. If you run out of ammo while you're doing this, then right next to the room that we sit in is Juggernog and an ammo crate where you can buy ammo for your GS45 for 10,000 points. The Beam Smasher works here as well, just make sure to use the signal mode on it and aim at the head because that'll do the most damage and make things so much easier. Obviously, before you end the round, look around to see if any of the Manglers either dropped a mutant injection or a chopper gun or score streak. I know I said in the Liberty Falls video that they weren't that great, but they are on Terminus because the zombies don't hide inside buildings as much and it'll kill Manglers. Then you can start flying through rounds extremely quickly like this. KHF at round 200 plus was finishing rounds in like 3 minutes, which is absolutely insane to think about because in some of the older games it would take like 45 minutes, an hour, sometimes up to 3 hours. There's also one other thing that most people haven't been able to really figure out yet. In KHF's game, all of the regular zombie spawns besides this one window in front of him actually turned off. This didn't happen in my game though, so I think what's happening is that sometimes when you save and quit in a solo match then come back in, it can affect the spawns on the map for the rest of the game. Because where he's standing right now, there's a spawner on the floor behind him and zombies should be coming in through the front door from the outside spawns as well. If any of you want to mess around with this and see if you can figure it out, then go ahead, because having only one spot to shoot at and then kill some Manglers is such a good strategy that's probably going to be patched really quickly after this video comes out. This is also also a great way for people who play a lot of zombies but aren't high rounders to be able to get the round 100 Dark Ops challenge done. I might have a full video on how to do it on my second channel in a couple of hours and be a little bit more detailed in there if you're someone who wants to do that. Also keep in mind that if you do want to go to the max round of 256, then it'll probably take you a little over 15 hours of game time to complete. You'll probably be a little bit slower than KHF. And I know I haven't explained it yet, but yes, the rounds are currently capped on Black Ops 6 Zombies at 256. Rounds will still continue like normal from that point onwards with a pause at the end, plus the round end and start music. The number that you see on the screen though, or in the menus, just won't increase anymore though. Hopefully Treyarch does fix this so that players have more motivation to go for round 500 or maybe even 1000. But enough teasing, I did say that KHF did the main quest Easter egg on round 256 and I wasn't lying to you. Randomly on round 254, he started doing steps forward while a friend that was talking to him on Discord just relayed all of it because he hadn't memorized it yet. So after a little while, he went into the first boss fight against Nathan and was having a bit of a tough time actually. That boss is super bullet spongy even for the GS45. Or at least it was difficult until he realized he could use the Mangler injection and melted it in only a couple of seconds. After that I did the next few steps without too many issues and actually passed through a few more rounds because sometimes the last zombie would die out or a step would kill it or whatever the case is. Eventually though, he was ready to enter the boss fight, but before he did, I want to mention something very smart. If you stand in front of the door to the boss and flip to a new round, your game will create a save state right then and there, so that if he or anyone else goes into the boss fight and takes it down or crashes and they just don't want to continue it, they can save and quit and then load back into their game again and try again. That's because whatever happens during the round, the game is coded to only remember where you were at the beginning of it. Just make sure you don't fully die out. It'll also only work the one time per round, but doing this, it'll give you a free second attempt at the Terminus or Liberty Falls boss fights in solo. Once KHF went in, you could tell that those GS45s are still paying huge dividends because they're doing big damage to Patient 13. Throughout the first phase of the fight, he would usually slide back and forth between the starting platform while avoiding getting slammed by hiding behind cover. During the second phase, he actually ended up taking it down because he didn't realize you could move around the entirety of the square platform. He thought it was only the front area, so just to make things easier, he restarted the boss fight and did much better that time. During phase 1 again, he was using the GS45 to shoot the weak spots. Then during phase 2, he started to use the whole platform and realized with the GS45, you can actually shoot through the back of the boss and still deal critical damage. Eventually, he also started to use the beam smasher because it's just better at long range than the pistols. Also during this, he's having to deal with fully armored super sprinters, which is a big pain in the ass. In the final phase of the fight, a bunch of zombies all spawn at once and he barely survived when his mutant injection failed. This is something that can also happen in the high round spot as well, so just make sure that if you're going into the mutant injection, make sure it actually works first. I personally had a round 126 game and yesterday on Liberty Falls because of this exact thing. Sometimes it can fail. When the boss finally appeared again, he was actually able to get behind it while its big one hit down attack charged up. He survived this completely by accident because once again the mutant injection is the best thing ever made in zombies and the boss didn't deal any damage to him, although it did actually end the injection right away, which is very interesting. One more mutant injection dealing crazy damage to the boss later, and that is the world's first max round Easter egg main quest completion in Black Ops 6. So please do me a huge favor and check out the official KHF on YouTube or Twitch, they'll be linked in the description below because he actually uploaded the whole boss fight if you want to see it. Thank you for watching, remember to leave a like, love you, bye bye.